It's 2017. I'm doing the same shit I was doing back in 2016 and 15. Yeah, and probably 14 too. Huh, interesting. What I mean by that is, today I'm going to make a video somewhat defending an individual I don't particularly like because they caught a lot of heat for something I don't really think they should have gotten. I do that a lot. It's kind of like a staple on my channel. It happens frequently. So today's subject is going to be an individual I've done video responses to quite a few times before, usually at the request of individuals, and that is Onision. And it's no secret, I don't really like Onision all too much, but I don't hate the guy. Sometimes I do think he says some reasonable things, but for the most part, I'm not really a fan of Onision. So I'm not making this video because I like Onision in a particular way. I'm just making this video because, well, as I say all the time, I have something called honor and integrity, and I don't really think it's fair to give people a lot of shit for something that they didn't actually do. So what am I talking about anyway? I'm just throwing words at the screen at this point, right? Well, I will tell you, my friends. I shall tell you. So an article was posted on this website called Hearst.com. Never been there. I think it's a news website, I believe. I've only been there once, which is to make this video. Talking about how Onision is a 31-year-old man that asks 13-year-old girls and other teenagers to post pictures of themselves dressed in bikinis or half naked so he can comment upon their bodies and make judgments and critiques about them. I remember reading the article, he referred to one girl, or he calls girls, gives them Shrek bodies, tells them that they're fat and whatnot. And this caused a bit of a kerfuffle around a lot of people who are in the skeptic community. A lot of people were upset and they got angry hearing that Onision would do such a thing as to post these pictures of 13-year-old girls and comment upon their bodies. Well, honestly, that would make a lot of sense. I could completely understand why people would be upset hearing that. However, see, here's the interesting thing. After doing a bit of research and looking more critically into not only the article and even Onision's channel itself, I come to the reasonable conclusion that Onision's not really doing what is described there. I mean, the article says that he's asking a bunch of 13-year-old girls or even sometimes 11-year-old girls to send him all these pictures and whatnot, but Onision actually really wasn't doing that, at all. In fact, from what I've seen, I've only seen, two 13-year-old girls, or, yeah, only, two. Well, I only saw one confirmed 13-year-old girl. The other one was said to be 13, or unless I'm getting it mixed up and it was the same one. Otherwise, there's not actually very many 13-year-old girls in any of Onision's videos, and most of the pictures Onision showed in the videos, because I actually had to watch them myself in order to evaluate whether or not this was, creepy or pedophilic, as most people would say, and I had to come to the logical conclusion that, one, most of the women Onision showed were well, just that. They were adult women. Most of them were adults, and if they weren't adults, there's no real way you could tell that they weren't, because they were all fully developed anyway, so they had to be, well, I would imagine around 17 to 24. I would think. I mean, their bodies betrayed them if they're younger than 17, because they all looked like adult women, even facially speaking, and women usually have a high level of monotony anyway, so they look younger than what they really are, usually before 25 at least. But most of the women Onision showed in his videos, well, are women, so I can't really call him a pedophile or jump down his throat for him doing something he wasn't doing. In fact, even when Onision made video responses, he showed that he was just asking for people in general to post pictures. He wasn't specifically asking for 13-year-old girls to come. So when a lot of people are going around calling Onision creepy and even going so far as to call him a pedophile, and it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way because, well, for one, it's not accurate. A pedophile is someone that's attracted to prepubescent children. So if you are not attracted to prepubescent children, then you're not a pedophile. And no one has provided me any evidence or any reason to think that Onision is attracted to prepubescent children. At all. Nothing at all. I mean, again, a 13-year-old girl would have gone through puberty, so she would have developed somewhat. So even if you did find an attraction to her, which, again, I don't really think as an adult you should, but even if you did, you wouldn't be a pedophile. And in fact, there is actually a word for that. It would be ephebophile, if I am pronouncing that word correctly. Ephebophile, I don't know, ephebophile? It's EF, PH. I don't know. The point of the matter is, if you're attracted to someone post-puberty, then you're not a pedophile by definition of the word. And it's a nasty accusation to place on someone. I mean, even some of the people who made videos, responses talking about the subject, went as far as to say that they even think that Onision is pedophilic and masturbates to some of these pictures. Like Mr. Epsilon straight up said that. And I'm not making that up. Okay, I'll show you. See, right here.
As fucked up as it is, I can already visualize and imagine him in his bedroom. His wife is down in the kitchen taking care of his kid, and he's ferociously masturbating to these fucking 13-year-old girls' photos.
Yeah, and that's a nasty thing to say about someone. I mean, where is the evidence that Onision is whacking off to these girls? I don't know. I mean, you can make the assumption that he is because he's a dude, and that's what men do, apparently. We only think about sex and whatnot, but again, I don't think that's a fair thing to say about anyone, just based on what was shown. And I didn't see Onision was soliciting these 13-year-old girls for these pictures. So again, to come to the conclusion that Onision is asking for these pictures for these girls, or 13, is a little strange to me, because there's no evidence to suggest that he was doing that. He was just asking for pictures in general, and most of the people who answered were adult women anyway, so yeah. But to go as far as to say you think he's masturbating to these 13-year-old girls because you don't like Onision, well, that's nasty. A lot of people saying that Onision is creepy because he's commenting upon the bodies of 13-year-old girls, again, is nasty, because again, it's only been confirmed one 13-year-old girl, and the other one was just kind of suggested. So one thing that really kind of started this whole thing off from memory was there's this one woman who made a Reddit post talking about how she, on her daughter's iPad, she found that her daughter had posted a picture of herself in a bikini with the word Onision somewhere on her body. I don't remember where. And there's just this long Reddit post, and the mom was upset. And the final message, what I thought was interesting, was parents, pay attention and supervise your children on the internet. You never know what they're doing. And I thought it was interesting because a lot of people took that story as an example to show as to how Onision is creepy and just doesn't care about the integrity of these young girls. Or maybe that was another story. There's another story where this one 15-year-old girl who also watched Onision's channel had a 13-year-old sister. And she posted a picture onto Onision's forum. And Onision used that picture in one of his videos to talk about, I forget which video it was. But anyway, it really doesn't matter. I mean, these videos are all the same in context. So she does that, and the 15-year-old girl sends him a message and asks him to remove the video and re-upload it without her sister being on there, because her sister was 13 and she has an easily recognizable room, and she didn't want her friends to see her in that particular way. Yeah. A lot of people use that story again to show how Onision was this creepy, terrible individual who cares not, you know, for the integrity of his fans. Which I thought was interesting. Really interesting. There were a couple of reasons, which I'll get into in just a second. But the one thing I really want to focus on is this before I get into how interesting that stuff is. Or actually, maybe I should save that for later in the video when I'm done talking about this whole scenario. I'll do that instead. Instead, I want to chat about what happened with Blair White and Onision. So, Blair White, which amongst other YouTubers like Jacqueline Glynn, Andy Worski, she made like a 6-minute video, if I remember correctly, talking about how creepy Onision is. And talking about this particular subject matter in a pretty shallow form, calling him a whole manner of different names and whatnot. So Onision made a 19 or 18-minute long video responding to Blair White, where he called her a whole host of mean names. Well, one thing I found was particularly interesting was how a lot of people, even Jacqueline Glendon, made another video response talking about this subject matter, focused on how Onision said a lot of mean, nasty words to Blair White. Which is true, he did, but a lot of people didn't want to admit to the fact that in Onision's original video, Onision's response to Blair White, he was fucking spot on. And I'm not saying this because I like Onision and I dislike Blair White. I think Blair White's cool and all that, but Onision was spot on. He was right. And there's no, I can't, you know, again, honor, integrity and all that. I have to be accurate here. And he was. And so the interesting thing that I found in a lot of Blair White's videos, in Blair White's video, was the story I just told a second ago. With the there's the 13-year-old girl. There's another Blair White in Blair White's video, which Onision hammered her for, was Blair White refused to show the picture of the 13-year-old girl in question, and she also refused to show another picture of this other girl who was under the age of 18. Again, admitted by the girl in the forum post itself. And Blair White's refusal to show these pictures, she said, was because she didn't want to infringe on the girl's privacy, which I thought was totally understandable at the time. You know, so Onision then actually revealed the two pictures that Blair White didn't want to show. And the interesting thing about them was they were both really fucking tame. They weren't sexual pictures at all. Now, Onision's video was titled "She Lied to You," and I don't think that's a fair thing to say about Blair White. I don't think Blair White lied to anyone. I think Blair White was wrong. I don't think anyone lied except the individual who wrote the original article that the YouTubers then used to make their videos, because lying implies intent. And I don't think it was Blair White's intent to make people think that the pictures that the girls posted on Onision's forum was worse than what they were. But I have to say, well, at least for me personally, that was certainly the effect. I mean, again, I don't think Blair White was trying to show people, trying to make people think that the subject material was worse, but the effect, at least I thought immediately, was clearly these girls have to be like half naked or undressed or in some sort of bikini or something, because otherwise she wouldn't have had to not show us. And as it turns out, the two pictures in question were pretty mundane. The 13-year-old was just in her room. She censored her face and she lifted up her shirt halfway. I don't even think you could see her bra. She was just showing her midriff, you know, so you could see if she was fat or not. And then the other picture was just some girl's face, just some cute chick. I guess that wasn't 18. Just her face, just some girl. Which is interesting to me, because I mean there are 10-year-olds right now on YouTube who show their face, and no one gives a hoopla about that. So apparently being underage doesn't really matter too much when you just want to post a selfie. So again, so I think Blair White, I don't think Blair White was trying to make you think that the situation was worse than what it was, but I believe that was certainly the effect, because when I actually saw what the actual pictures in question, I honestly kind of had to say, you guys just made a mountain out of a molehill. One, there's no evidence to suggest that Onision was soliciting girls or for these naked pictures, or any naked picture for that matter, or he was asking 13-year-old girls. Onision was just asking women in general, and most of the people who replied were women by a landslide. Again, even if you found someone who was under the age of 18, they were still probably like 17 or 16 or something. I mean, they're fully developed usually. So calling Onision a pedophile, I just don't think was fair at all. That's one reason why I wanted to make this video. I just don't think it was fair to do that to an individual. I mean, again, I don't like Onision, but to say mean, nasty things about him like that, that's not right. A lot of people calling Onision creepy, and well, I mean, yeah, sure, you can do that. I think Onision is creepy for a multitude of reasons. For starters, his desire to share every bit of personal information about his life on the internet, that's a little creepy to me, but yeah, just another video for another time. All I'm saying is, there's no evidence to suggest that Onision is a pedophile, and it was a nasty thing to say about someone, even if you don't like him. Which kind of moves on to the next thing, which I think is the title of this video. And that is, Onision is the symptom, not the sickness. Onision, so here's the thing that kind of got me. One thing that kind of snowballed the situation was the Reddit post I mentioned earlier, where the mother posted up how her 13-year-old daughter wrote Onision on her body and uploaded that onto this forum, right? So when I read that story the first time, I had an interesting question. My question was, where did the girl get the iPad from? Like, the iPad didn't fall from the sky. You know, she didn't walk down the street on a Tuesday afternoon. No, look, the iPad. No. Take this home. No, so I was like, so where did you get the iPad from? Well, she got it from her parents, I would imagine. And then my second question was, well, where's her father? Where's her dad in this scenario? Where'd that guy go? I guess he wasn't relevant in all of this, so she didn't mention him, but excuse me, I just was a little confused on the details there. I mean, seriously, I was interested to see. I mean, this girl who's 13 has an iPad and access to the internet, and that just, people just kind of jump right on over that, you know. And I mean, back in my day, you know, you had to ask your parents' permission before you can go online, but not anymore. You just do it now. So I mean, the girl had access to the internet because her parents bought her an iPad, which would allow her to take these pictures in the first place. And my question, which should have been the question of the day, or if anything, this actually should have been the real problem that a lot of people had. Like, I found it interesting how a lot of people wanted to focus on how Onision was creepy and taking pictures of 13-year-old girls, but me, I was sitting there like, you guys aren't asking yourself the real question. You know, you guys aren't asking yourself the real question that America needs to decide once and for all. And that question is, how old is 15 really? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But on a serious notion, though, I have to ask, there's a serious question I was wondering. And that was, why are these girls posting these pictures on Onision's forum to begin with? Yeah, no one answered that question. No one stopped to consider that. No one was like, why is this even like a thing that even happens on Onision's forum? And Onision's forum is filled with a whole bunch of different things. I mean, Onision's forum isn't dedicated to, you know, rating a bunch of girls. It's dedicated to a whole bunch of different shit. It's all forum image boards are almost like exactly the same, with just different paint of code on them. So, different coat of paint on them, to be correct. But I was just sitting there kind of confused. Well, not confused. I know exactly why these girls are posting these pictures on there. What I just found was interesting was how no one commented upon it. In fact, some people did make comments. Some people would say consistently, you know, if you're 18, then that's fine. You could post pictures of your body on the internet, yeah, all fine and dandy. Which I thought was interesting, which actually explained to me why people had to highlight the fact that these girls were 13 years old, even though only like one of them was. And that was because that's the only way you could have a problem with what Onision's doing. I mean, in principle, you can't really argue or get upset with Onision taking pictures of girls that they uploaded onto the internet with the sole and purpose of being judged upon if they're over the age of 18, because then you just have to have a huge issue with, I don't know, 40% of Instagram. Or you would just have to be really upset with the current nature of cute girls on YouTube. I'm just saying. That's the only way you could judge Onision for what he's doing, because women post pictures of themselves half-dressed all the fucking time. And if you don't have any problem with that in principle, the only way you could really bitch and complain about Onision because you just don't like the guy is to highlight a problem that wasn't actually there. But there is a problem that is here that no one looked at, and that's why are these girls doing this in the first place? So Onision runs the board, or does his videos for body positivity, and I'll probably have to chat about that in detail some other time. But that's his intent. His intent is to say positive things about the girl's body to help them with their self-esteem and whatnot. And do I think he's successful at that? No. To be completely honest, not really. I don't really think it's the most conducive thing ever. I mean, to be fair, Onision does say positive things sometimes in those videos, but he also says negative things in those videos too, which kind of spits in the face of body positivity. But yeah, so again, Onision, I get the intent. I get what he's trying to do, and no one could really have a problem with that in principle. Well, unless you have an issue with women attention whoring on the internet. See, and that's the thing, which I thought was interesting. Because the real question I saw that no one was asking was, why are these girls doing it in the first place? Why are there a bunch of attention whorers on Onision's forum page posting pictures of themselves half-dressed anyway to be judged and posted on a video for Greg to even say anything about them? And I would wager that one of the biggest reasons why is because apparently they didn't have any male figure in their life to tell them that they were perfectly fine the way they were. So they have to go get that attention from somewhere else. They're all attention whores. They're all thirsty. And the interesting thing I found about this is why I'm calling Onision more of a symptom of a problem than a sickness, is because a lot of people don't seem to understand this about attention whores. And that is, if they don't get one source of attention, you know, over there, they'll just go somewhere else. It's like drinking water. Like if you go to a water fountain and you find it's out of service, you don't stop being thirsty. You just go, oh, well, I guess I'm not drinking water today. No, you just go to a different water fountain. The same thing with these girls. So even if you people were to somehow get Onision to stop making the videos that he made with these girls' pictures in there and all that jazz, they would just go to Greg. Well, his name is Greg. Well, they just go to Johnson or Jerry or Jeremiah. I don't know. They just go to Brad, some other guy, to just give them some attention because they're all attention whores. That's the whole point of them doing all of this. And while you guys are sitting here upset with Onision having a picture of a 13-year-old girl, I'm asking, well, why is the 13-year-old girl sitting here asking for some guy she doesn't know to give her some attention? Where's her dad? Where are the strong male father figures in her life? Where are they? Apparently they didn't do a good job of instilling a sense of value in her, otherwise she would need to go to some internet personality to ask for him to tell her if she's alright or not. Same thing for most of these adult women in their lives. You guys are all sitting here calling him a pedophile and whatnot. I'm just confused as to why no one stopped and said, wait a minute, you got a huge hub of attention whores all vying for attention of one man, and the only thing you guys can have a problem with is a non-existent issue that's not even there? It's astounding to me at the very least. I mean, seriously, like the biggest issue I found with Onision's whole forum thing was the fact that it's a bunch of attention whores looking for attention. And Onision is, I guess you could say, exploiting them, but I mean, that's an interesting question, whether or not he's giving someone exactly what they want is exploitation, but whatever. The fact remains that you just have a bunch of attention whores looking for attention. And yes, I'm including the 13-year-old girls in there as well, considering that they took the picture and uploaded it to Onision's forum to be put in a video for Onision to make comments about. Like they knew what they were doing. They're not dumb, they're not stupid, they just have low self-esteem and low self-respect. That's all that was. Because if they respected themselves enough, they wouldn't put much of any thought on Onision's opinion. I mean, considering the fact that it's not like Onision's going to be able to have sex with you or do anything with you in a particular way, because, like, he's married and you're not supposed to, at the very least, you know, step out of that commitment. But even then, like, you guys are separated by thousands of miles away. So, okay, the point is, well, I digress, is the fact that staking any sort of weight on some random internet personality's opinion of your body is not conducive to anything. It's just a quick fix at the time, but it doesn't get to the core root of how you feel. And yeah, sure, I know, lots of people have sent Onision messages and tweets that Onision has helped them out with their body image problems. And maybe he has done that for some people. There's millions of people that watch him. That said, if there's any real problem with Onision and his body positivity series, it's the fact that he's just giving attention whores a bunch of tap water. Really, they should be drinking some orange juice or some apple juice or just some regular clean water that's actually healthy for them, that helps them feel better about themselves in the long run, not some quick fix of intention in a YouTube video. And again, I don't think Onision is a pedophile. I don't think there's any information that could even come to the conclusion that Onision is a pedophile. But I think the real issue here is the fact that you have a bunch of women that are looking for attention on the internet, and no one ever seems to really want to talk about that. The attention whores that exist. Okay, well, I do, but no one else does. And it's astounding to me. There's so many attention whores looking for attention on the internet, and people can only focus on problems that aren't even there. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Onision's not a pedophile, and I don't think it's right to call him creepy and messed up for what he's doing. I mean, at least he's trying to do something positive. I mean, trying. Failing, I would imagine, but at least he's trying. He's not calling people out of their name and insulting them for shit they didn't actually do. Okay, well, he does sometimes, but I digress. So, that's the end of the video, you know, and if you enjoyed it, and I most certainly hope you did. I hope you got something out of the video, and if you didn't, man, go ahead and click the like button. Yeah, shoot, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below, and as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.